Why hello there! Today we'll be discussing advanced toothbrushing techniques. Now, if you've seen my beginner video, feel free to continue watching. If you have not, please watch the beginner video first, as that will provide some elementary foundational steps that are very important for learning how to properly brush your teeth. Today's lesson is for advanced toothbrushers, people who feel comfortable with the act, feel that they've been doing this for a while, and they're ready to try something a little different. Now, before I get into some of the more delicate tips, I'd like to first discuss toothbrush selection. Our first option that we have here, classic, the Oral-B, this is a used toothbrush. Now, 99% of Americans on a daily basis are using a used toothbrush. This is due to the reliability of a used toothbrush. You've used it before, you know it works, you're not trying to do anything too adventurous. For some people, though, it's uncomfortable for them to think this toothbrush has been used, it has plaque on it, it has old toothpaste, and this one definitely does. For them, we have the new toothbrush. This is always an option that you have. It can be a bit expensive of a way to live if you provide yourself with a new toothbrush every time you brush your teeth. But you also have the option of only brushing your teeth every few weeks. And then you're saving a lot of money on toothbrushes. Alternatively, you could join the majority of Americans by using a used toothbrush. There is another option. I've shown you a couple of classic Oral-B here. We also have here a Firefly brand Paw Patrol toothbrush. Now, this is especially significant for if you'd like to be getting in touch with your inner child while you're brushing your teeth. A lot of adults struggle with this, and this can be the thing that helps you bridge that gap. Now, for a children's toothbrush, they sure do make it difficult to get in here. Betsy. Now, I personally have never used one of these toothbrushes. I don't like to be in touch with my inner child. It makes me uncomfortable. But it has a cool suction cup, which I like down here. This allows it to stand, which is a thing that a toothbrush should be able to do. And most adult toothbrushes, they don't care about that, they just let you put that toothbrush on the counter. This can be a little gross. Have you looked at your counter lately? It's gross. You really need to clean it up. Signed, your mom. I'm not going to brush with this because of the aforementioned reasons, but please know this is an option. You can find this at your local Dollar Tree. And that's it. They don't sell this toothbrush anywhere else. You have to go to the Dollar Tree. Now that said, let's continue with discussing the actual toothbrushing techniques. Previously I mentioned the beginner video. If you've seen that, some of this is going to sound familiar, but the reason that we brush our teeth is ultimately to get food out. Even though we eat the food, even though we put that food in our mouths, it is gross. It is disgusting. Take it out of your mouth. Do whatever you can. It needs to be cleaned. It needs to be purified. It needs to be sanctified. So for that reason, you might be inclined to use bleach, the ultimate cleaner. I highly recommend you not do this. This is going to put you in the hospital. Instead, we have a much simpler, milder approach to this sort of thing, and that's using a toothbrush to brush it out. There are a few, however, stipulations that need to be clarified. Namely, that if you have eaten in the past half hour, you should not brush your teeth. The reason for this is that when you eat, the food adjusts the acidity in your mouth, and when that pH is imbalanced, you are now in a position where brushing your teeth is going to weaken that enamel, the outer layer on your tooth, and that's not good. I don't think I need to tell you that's there for a reason. You don't want to wear that away. Now, I'm a little heated about this because when I went to school, and I'm sure this was the case for most of you as well, they often told you to brush after every meal. A hygienist would come to your school and she would sweetly sing you the song of their people, which is after every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, go into the bathroom, brush the teeth, and get the food out of here, get the food! But of course that wasn't true. That was a conspiracy that they spread in order to make us, stupid little children, wear the enamel off of our teeth. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're actually supposed to wait a half an hour at least to let the acidity in your mouth balance out. Now this can be frustrating for people like myself because, quite frankly, I'm a little ashamed to admit this. My nighttime routine begins with an Oreo, and if I don't have the Oreo, I can't do anything. So I don't really know what to do. So next I'd like to go over some techniques. So first of all, you're gonna... Oh wait, shoot, I almost grabbed the used toothbrush. You're going to want to initially do the traditional side-by-side method, like this. You're not going to want to do that. That is not the best way to brush your teeth. You're just going to get the tops, you're going to miss parts. What you want to do instead is take this toothbrush and carefully brush each individual tooth. Now, the way you want to do this is you want to imagine that your tooth is a fuzzy little cat head, and their toothbrush is your fingertips, and you want to pet every hair on that fuzzy cat head. So just very carefully brush every little hair on that fuzzy cat head. This is just a cute little metaphor that really helps me keep a focus on feeling good when I'm brushing my teeth, which is important because you spend a lot of time doing it. You saw how long it took me to brush that one tooth. That was my smallest tooth. Imagine how long it takes me to brush all of them. I won't put you through it, but it takes a few minutes. It takes a few minutes of my time, of my day. Oh, pickle juice. I just realized I have a Coca-Cola Classic toothbrush holder, and I haven't been using it for my educational toothbrushing techniques video. I'm infuriated. Anyway, let's move on to the positions portion of this video. When I say positions, I mean, how do I put this? Sometimes when you do the same activity every day, or twice a day, or every few weeks, whatever, it becomes a little mundane. And when that happens, you sometimes need to find ways to shake things up, make it a little more, shall I say, exciting, fresh, a new experience, really. So I'm going to go over some of those positions that you can try with your toothbrush when you and your toothbrush are alone in the bathroom together. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you are doing a public toothbrushing display. If you have friends over, they might look at you funny, but if you're in the privacy of your own home, these can be a quite fun way to freshen up the experience. So first of all, you saw what I consider really the default toothbrushing technique, which is to brush each individual tooth. It's just a very careful experience. One thing you can try if you're dominant right-handed, you can try using your left hand. This is just, it feels unfamiliar, but it feels good. Another option you could try, one sec. I have here a delectable lavender and lemon balm salve, which was produced for me by my loving, darling wife, Edith. Now, This was produced with beeswax and olive oil, as well as an herbal blend of, you guessed it, lavender and lemon balm. It smells delicious. This can make the experience a bit more exciting. What you're going to want to do is take some of the salve and stroke it around your toothbrush. This is going to make it slippery. And you might think, isn't that going to make it more difficult? Well, yes, but that's part of what makes this fun. As a bonus perk, your hand is going to come out moisturized, which is nice. Once you're done oiling up the toothbrush, you just proceed to brush your teeth like normal. Except now there's some pushback. When you go to brush, you find the toothbrush slipping out of your hand. This just means you need to take it slower. Be a little more gentle with yourself. And, just remember that the most important part of brushing your teeth is self-care potions. The third and final position I'd like to go over today, this one is particularly advanced. I would not recommend doing this until you're at least 25 years of age. I'm 27, so I can do it. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I'll be fine, trust me. Upside down toothbrushing. This is going to be hard. You are going to screw it up the first time. But if you keep working on it and figuring out how to implement this strategy in the proper way, you are going to succeed. You are going to thrive, and you are going to feel alive. So, basically, once you've suspended yourself in the upside down position, you're going to brush your teeth as per normal. And, I don't really need to do the whole thing. You know how to brush your teeth at this point, I hope. But yeah, this is the thing you can do. You start to get bored in this position. You always have the option of finding a partner if you have one. Maybe they can choke you while you do this. That's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your life, but there are many ways you can make brushing your teeth interesting. And the most important thing is that you just keep doing it. No matter how tedious and arduous it gets, no matter how sick of it you get, no matter how done you are with brushing your teeth every single fucking day with the same goddamn toothbrush and the same fucking toothpaste and the same... Now, a lot of you will already be familiar with the post-brushing habit of dental floss. A lot of people aren't very fond of this, and I think for good reason. So the concept, if you're not familiar, there's a very long strand of something in here. I don't really know how they make it, but they coat it in mint, just like your toothpaste, which is a little redundant if you ask me. 55 yards of the stuff in here. And you're supposed to take that and wrap it around your fingers and take that strand and run it between your teeth, each individual tooth, and then that gets the plaque out. You know, why'd you even brush, right? Like, what was the point? Wasn't that why we brushed? Whatever. I'm not going to get into it, but I have tried it before. I won't be using this floss. I'm actually going to be returning this to my local grocery store as soon as I'm done recording this video. I prefer a much more efficient method, which I'll get to here in a moment. When you brush, you likely notice some blood comes out. This is something called gingivitis, I believe. And what this is your gums are being infected by a bacteria. And when you bleed, you're letting out that bacteria. So, like I said, I don't really prefer this method. I prefer something much more efficient. So every 3 weeks or so, you're not going to want to do it more than that. I'll take a serrated knife and I'll just run it across my gums. I'm not going to show you here because I just did it 2 days ago. And, well, it's always a mess and there's a lot to clean up. I'm not fond of that end of the experience, so I don't do it often, but it scares me even more to think that there might be bacteria growing in my gums, and I just want to let that out. So, Now, this next step is often overlooked, and I personally find it to be possibly the most important part of a quality toothbrushing experience, and that's the rinse. When you're done brushing your teeth, and if it's been long enough, sawing them out with a serrated blade, you're going to have some undesirable fluids in your mouth that you're going to want to remove. And for that reason, we do the rinse. Now, what you're going to want to start off with is a Dixie cup. It needs to be Dixie brand cup, or you will perish as a result of using it. You're going to want to fill it with water. Now, this water has only been in this cup for a few minutes, but as I've mentioned before, I'm a bit paranoid about bacteria, and I just like to play it safe and be sure. Now, as you know, sugar raises acid in your mouth, and acid kills bacteria. So what you're going to want to do is take this water that you've created for your post-brushing rinse, and you're going to want to add sugar. Mix this in with the butt end of your toothbrush. Alright, that looks pretty good now. And then you're going to want to let that sit for about 10 to 15 days to let the sugar ferment. The reason you're going to do this is because fermented sugar becomes alcohol, and alcohol kills bacteria. So, hence. Now, if you can't wait 10 to 15 days, I would recommend, if this is the option you choose to take, that you create a shelf in a room near your brushing room where you will have a lineup of 14 days of Dixie cups, and each one, will ferment at its own rate, and when you create one, you'll set it there and replace the one that you're going to use to rinse with. This is efficient, but it can be a bit of a pain, and I am lazy. I like to minimize my workload whenever possible, so I spend a little extra money, and I will purchase, actually, a pre-fermented alcohol, which I will use to rinse my teeth after I brush them, and, of course, every few weeks, after I purify my gums of their myriad bacteria. Alright, that's all the time we have. I'm going to go play Animal Crossing on my Nintendo 3DS. Meanwhile, you go ahead and give some of these tips a try, and see what you think. Let me know how you feel about brushing your teeth upside down if you decide to give that a try. And while you're at it, please don't saw your gums with a knife. That's a bad idea.